We didn't know that this house was in foreclosure until a week before closing. Come check it out. What's up guys, welcome back to our channel. Today we've got an interesting story that sheds light on the challenges of foreclosures, but also gives you a little bit of insight onto some of the creative solutions that you can pull off on some of these deals. So let's dive right into this story. Okay, so put yourself in our seller's shoes for a minute. We've got a single mom, couple kids, wants to move to a better school district, and so she's pretty urgently trying to move. Well, at least that's what she told us. What actually was happening was a little bit more dire of a situation. So she did what naturally anybody would do when they're trying to sell a house. She reached out to a real estate agent. The real estate agent shows up to the house, says, "We can sell your house for $545,000. And that's what she did. But she didn't disclose the fact that she was behind on payments and needed to sell a little bit quicker than she initially let off. So not disclosing the fact that she was behind on payments intensified the stress that she was feeling during this whole transaction. Because of that, she ended up reaching out to our company about selling her house quickly. Okay, so this seller filled out a form on our website and expressed that she needed to sell fast. So we're treating it as any other lead that comes in. We showed up to the property, asked questions, tried to figure out what's going on. This seller said that she was behind a couple months but did a loan modification, and so we took her at her word for it. But ultimately ended up walking away from it with an offer to her that was significantly less than what it was listed for. And most of the time, we're not the best solution for homeowners, but in this case, she ended up coming back to us and accepting our offer, which was substantially lower than what her list price was on the MLS. The more that we unpacked what was really going on in this situation and the more we asked questions, come to find out that she was actually behind about 10 months and her property was in active foreclosure. It was already sent to a foreclosure attorney and an auction was getting scheduled. So with that in mind, we had to move quickly and we had to make a couple of pivots and be able to come up with a creative solution on how to best structure this transaction for the seller. So what we ultimately ended up doing was we bought the property subject to. The cool thing about this is we were able to give her cash at closing, we're able to relieve the stress of foreclosure, catch up all of her payments, and make payments on her behalf during the time of us owning the property. So during our renovation, listing, and selling the property before that mortgage gets paid off, we're able to help make consistent payments on her behalf, which is going to help repair her credit. So in this situation, rather than just getting a straight payoff, she is getting some help in repairing her credit, which is really important to her. Foreclosure situations like this demand creative solutions, and sometimes a one-size-fits-all tool isn't the best solution for a seller. And so you have to look at these situations and get the education and training that you need to be able to tackle these from multiple directions. Some lessons and takeaways that are really important that I want you guys to really learn from this. Number one, whenever you're rushed by a seller, it usually indicates that there's some sort of external motivation that's rushing them that they need to close by. So ask more questions, dive into that a little bit more and ask, it seems like there's a specific date that you need to close by. Is there something that I need to know? Or is there anything else that I need to know? This usually allows the seller an opportunity to share anything else about the transaction that's important to them. Number two is make sure that you dot your I's and cross your T's. Do all of your due diligence prior to closing and making sure that what they're actually saying is really true. In this case, said everything was caught up on the HOA. Come to find out there was actually $1,200 in a balance to the HOA. So those are additional costs that end up costing us more money in the end. So we want to make sure that we have all of the facts prior to closing. Another great takeaway on this property is because we bought it subject to, we took over a 4% interest mortgage. So it's a relatively affordable monthly payment for us to hold this property for the short duration of us fixing it up and listing it compared to hard money costs, which cost significantly more. So it's a win-win for us as well because we're able to have a reduced holding cost during the couple months that we're holding it and allows us to save a little bit of money, which ultimately ends up allowing us to pay a little bit more on the asking price, which means more cash to the seller. The last takeaway that I want to leave with you guys is when you position yourself as the guide in these situations and not as an investor coming in who's just looking to make money, it allows you to really focus on the individual's needs. And it makes you think and put yourself in their shoes and craft a solution that really benefits them and you as the investor. My challenge to you is when you're in these situations with sellers, look beyond the surface, ask a lot of questions, and try to understand the unique challenges that each seller faces to be able to craft a solution that's unique to them. Thank you guys for joining us today as we've unpacked this foreclosure story. If you like this content and want to see more, give us a like and subscribe to the channel. That's all I got for you. Now get out there and use your skills and abilities to be a blessing to your community.